Hey guys, this is Ian with Camp Nerd, and I'm coming back with you with another tutorial. And what we're going to do today is we are going to create a updated version of the video that I'd done about a month ago, month and a half ago, or probably even longer than that. It's a CPU monitor with your RAM monitor and how much space you have used on your hard drive. Now, I'm going to show you the actual application, and I'm just going to go to the bin debug and just pull it off from right here so I don't have to bring up Visual Studio. And as you see, this right here is what we are going to be using. Now, if my voice on here sounds a little bit loud, I'm sorry. I kind of had to redo some things. I updated the operating system to Windows 10 Pro Creators Edition using Visual Studio 2017. All my stuff has been tweaked with, and I've got to retweak it to get the sound back normal. So if the sound is kind of loud or whatnot, then I apologize for that. Okay, so now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be creating this. It is an internal computer monitor, and you have your CPU usage, your available RAM usage, and how much space you have used on your hard drive. Okay, so you can design the form how you want to design it, but what we're going to do is we are going to create a folder, and if you already don't have a project already started, you can implement this in fairly easy, and we're just going to name this tutorial. Alright, you can add icons and stuff like that, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and open up Visual Studio, and my computer is running slow. Today it's I've got to do some cleaning and it's doing defrag and stuff like that in the background. So which is I've got a 1 terabyte hard drive, 12 gig RAM, and the CPU is I'm pushing the CPU to the max because it's I think it's a G430. It's the G. Well, hang on, I'll just show you. We'll do it this way. All right, let's go to System, and this should be it. Or this is going to go to Settings. Here we go. All right, so what we have, I am running an Intel Celeron CPU G460. It's dual core. Well, actually, it's a 1 core with 2 logical cores. So I'm pushing the hell out of this right here. So, but anyways, back to the project. What you want to do is you want to go to File, you want to go to New and Project. And what we're going to do is we're just going to open up a simple project. It's going to be C# Visual WinForms app. And then you save it wherever you want. I'm going to save it to my desktop. I would say if you save it to your desktop, the next step is going to be a lot easier than if you save it in your projects folder. But just keep in mind that the next step, we're going to have to add a NuGet package, and that's going to be the circular progress bar, because we're not going to go through in depth detail of programming a circular progress bar. We're just going to go ahead and use a package with them already there, and you would have like several types you can use. And so, what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of design this a little bit. Now, what I want to show you is you have your icons. If you programmed before, this is pretty much secondhand nature to you, and you can go ahead and get started with that if you would like. Which is here you got like your app in your background and stuff like that, that's the background for the ICM, the one I'm actually working on, but you can add those if you want to. But I'm just going to leave everything default the way it is, and I'm going to get me a drink of coffee while you get everything done. And it looks like we have a email from Dan Slagan. It's on my Alignable page. It's like a referral for business to business. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to click on your Solution Explorer, and then you want to right click on the app. And then you're going to go to Manage NuGet Packages. Once you get to the NuGet packages, you're going to want to go to Browse right here. You're going to click on Browse, and then right here you're going to click on Circular Progress Bar. As you can see, I've had it twice on there. It's the Circular Progress Bar by Suresh Falahati, 11.3 downloads. The latest stable edition is 2.5.6298.4486, and we're going to install that. I'm just going to click OK to let it know that it's installing and everything. And going from there, while all this is going, and there's going to be a note because there is a bug. Well, it's not really a bug. It's Visual Studio will have a hard time adding that. Sometimes it'll add it, sometimes it won't. So it just depends on what it is. This note right here just kind of tells you if it doesn't add it. It's a known issue, and it really cannot be fixed because it's a Visual Studio thing. So what we're going to do is we're going to add everything. So, which is, I got another email, and yes, my dad is moving to Texas. I'll email her later. But while you're reading this and just kind of familiarizing itself, before we go to the next step, I promised a few people that I would do a shout out to them. There are a couple of friends of mine that I listen to my Mixhound channel on YouTube, and the first person that the shout out goes to is Hopeless Procrastinator. That is his username, and if you go to Mixhound Live, find Hopeless Procrastinator in there, tell him that Camp Nerd sent you there, and you will get a thumbs up. The second person is AJ. Had a lot of conversations with AJ in the chat on the Mixhound YouTube channel, and he wanted me to shout out his name for him, so that's what I'm doing. And then you've also got Daisy, which is attached to AJ somehow. He wanted her name put in, so Daisy, if you got dragged into this and your name is being on here, I had nothing to do with it. AJ paid me $1,000 to do it. I'll send you half the check. Anyways, no, I'm kidding. He didn't pay anything. But anyways, the last person to have the shout out call to is Prone to Being Floppy. And I really don't want to think about what being floppy in his idea would be, but hopefully he's talking about prone to being floppy to a floppy disk, or just flopping around like a fish or something like that. But I promised him I'd give a shout out name to those 4 names, and that's what I did. And if you would like to have your name shouted out on one of the tutorial videos, or be able to talk a little bit on the videos, then send me an email, click on my channel, go to the About section of my channel, and then scroll down to the bottom there. It'll say Contact for Business Inquiries. Click on that and send me an email and give me your name, tell me a little bit about you, and then I'll talk to you a little bit on the next tutorial that I do. Alright, and for all the ones that are watching, if you want to have your name shouted out, I'm going to start doing 4 names per tutorial. So if you email me, or if you hit the like button, you will get your name shouted out. If you hit the subscribe button, you'll have your name shouted out. And if you email me, your name will be shouted out. And so that's what the shout out is for now on. It's going to be 4 names per YouTube video. Alright, now also there's going to be a lot of information in the description, so be sure you read the description. And now we're going to get back to the tutorial. Alright, you should have had time to change the form name, add an icon, background, or whatever that you wanted. Now, since we've done that, before we can add the circular progress bar, which is, if you notice right here, it's going to say that it's already added. If it's not added on your side, don't worry, it's fairly easy. What you need to do is you need to build the solution first. And we're building and building and building, and we're done. Okay. Now, since you've built the solution, what you're going to want to do is it's going to appear down here in general. So you're going to right click and you're going to go to choose items. Now, once that loads up, remember when I was saying that, remember where you saved your project at, because that is the crucial step in this next part. What you're going to do is you're going to click on Browse. All right, then you're going to go to wherever your app is at. And so we're going to go to mine, which is WinForms App 1. All right, then you're going to click on the WinForms App 1, the bin, the debug, and you're going to see that you've got the circular progress bar.dll and the WinForm animation.dll. In the note, it was saying if the circular progress bar did not work, you needed the WinForm animation.dll. And I'm going to show you how to see if those two references are added. And basically what you're going to do is you are going to click on your properties, or not your properties, your Solution Explorer, and then you're going to expand down references. You would see circular progress bar, and then you would see WinForm animation. Once you have those two, and once you click on both of those, it's going to add it to the list, and it's going to automatically checkbox it. Then you're just going to press OK, and it's going to come down here, and it's going to add it to here. So what we're going to do is we're just going to change the background so you can see this a little bit clearer. We're just going to change it to black. There we go. Alright, now what you want to do is you want to bring up 3 progress bars, but don't do all 3 at one time because they'll come up pretty big. So what I would do is I would take and I would scale them down, and then just basically press Control C and then Control V, then Control V. Alright, you got 3 of them, and you're just going to space them out however you want, and that looks pretty good. It's not centered, still not centered, but it's good enough. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to be doing a little bit of doing some tweaking with these, so that way it can be able to you can be able to get what you want. Alright, first off, when you click on the first one, go to the properties. Alright, first thing, so we can see everything, is you're going to get rid of the text. Alright, all the text, like that right there. Alright, now, the next thing to do is you'll see that once you get everything completely done on there, click off of it, you'll see that you just got that right, the circular progress bar. The next thing is to choose your color. What color do you want it to be? Do you want it green, blue? Alright, we could go to the aqua color, and you see it changes aqua. You can leave it orange. It just depends on what you want. I'm going to stay with the aqua, and then be sure to take out all the circulars. Because, I mean, when you're starting to do this, it's going to start getting pretty tricky here in just a few minutes. And so I'm just letting you know that this is going to get real tricky. Alright, now once you have all your colors done, alright, what you're going to want to do is you're going to click on the first circular progress bar. Now, if you wanted to change some different things, like say for example the inner color, you don't want it gray, let's say you want it black, then you can basically take that and it'll match the background. And that's what I'm going to do with that. I'm going to take it all the way black on each one of them. Alright, now that gray, that gray part looks pretty good, so I'm going to leave it the way it is. Alright, now, the first thing that you want to do after you have all that is you're going to want to look and see what your RAM and your hard drive is, because this is the next spot that's going to be really, really, really tricky. Alright, on this first one, the maximum is going to be 100, and the value we're going to take and we're going to put 0. And basically what that does is that zeroes that completely out. Alright, now on the second one, I have 12 gig RAM. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to put the value is 0 and the maximum. I say I got 12 gigabytes of RAM. So you would have to be able to do the conversion of how many megabytes that is, because I have done this with it just being megabytes, and I have done this with this just being regular, and it really didn't work out because you really couldn't see it fluctuating. It would just say you have 8 gigs or something. So if you're fluctuating in the middle, it's just always going to say 8 gigs, and it really doesn't look that cool as what the other one does. So what you need to do is, rule of thumb, the easiest thing is have your calculator if you can't think of it off quick, but 12 times 1024 equals, that's 12,288. Okay, so what we're going to do is right here, we're going to put 12,288. That's going to be the maximum on that. Alright, now your marquee animation speed, you can have it like blocks or continuous. I like continuous because it makes it a lot smoother flow instead of having the blocks and the rendering and the repainting and everything. It just makes it to where it's really not that pleasing. The animation marquee speed, I'm just going to put to 1000. You can leave it at 2000 if you want. I like 1000 better. Alright, so now we have your hard drive. Same thing on your hard drive. What are you wanting your hard drive to be? Alright. Oh shit, I gotta put 0 there. Okay, 0. Alright, we're going to change that to continuous. Now, my hard drive is a 930 gig hard drive. Okay, so 930 is going to be the max. Okay, now, you have your CPU, your RAM, and your hard drive. Now, the next thing to do is you're going to grab a couple of labels. Alright. Where's my label? Here we go. Alright, so we're just going to take that. We're going to set it right here. And we're going to change the text color to aqua. And we're going to bring that up, say, to 9. Make it a little bit more. So then from there, basically you can just click on the label. Control C, Control V, Control V, and then it adds that. Alright, now, with your label 1, label 2, label 3, you can go through and you can change the names and everything. We're not going to change the names just yet because we're going to get the layout completely done. Alright, now, since we have this right here, we're going to name this one CPU. So we know that's CPU. And then we're going to name this one RAM. And then we're going to name this one HD. Alright. So, you have your CPU, your RAM, and your HD. So what we're going to do is on the first circular, you're going to come down and you're going to change the name to CPB CPU for circular progress bar CPU. Now you're going to do the actual CPU label. You're going to put it as LBL CPU. The RAM label is going to be, I'm going to give you 3 guesses, but you only need 1. LBL RAM. And then we're also going to do the same thing here. We're going to put CPB RAM and then CPB HD. CPB HD. And then same thing with this label. We're going to put LBL HD. Alright, now we have that part done. That is all that you need on the form actual designing part. Now, what you need to do now is you need to get a performance counter. We're going to need 1, 2, 3, and then you're going to need a timer. All right, so on this performance counter, we're just going to archive that. On this performance counter 1, you're going to leave the name exactly the way that it is for the moment, because you're going to have to see which category name, counter, and your instance name that you're going to be using. Alright, and you can do this through the last video where we went to perfmon and did everything manually. Well, this gets a little bit easier. What you're going to do is on the category name, you are going to want to go to your processor. And you go through and you find it, so you're going to go to processor. And then off of that processor, you're going to look for the counter name, and which is, I know these because I use them pretty much all the time, but I will show you here in a minute how to get all the instance name, category name, and counter name. But then what you're going to want to do is you're want to go to percent processor time, and then on the instance name you want to do total. Alright, so the total does all of your cores put together. If you notice, I've only got a single core. Well, actually it's a dual core, but you can have 0 or 1. If you do total, it's going to combine 0 and 1 of the total usage. If you was just to do 0, you're only going to use 1 core, or if you use the other one, 1 core. So if you wanted to have 1 for the total CPU usage, you would use total. And then if you wanted to add in several other ones, like if you got an 8 core, you can sit there and have your main CPU monitor, and you can have a monitor on each individual little cores. Alright, so now since we have this one, and you know that this right here is your CPU, we're going to name this PFC. PFC, that's performance counter, not private first class for all the Army guys watching this. This PFC CPU, that's performance counter CPU. Alright, now once we go to the RAM, what we're going to want to do is we're going to, on the RAM, you're going to click on Performance Counter 2, and you're going to change this to PFC RAM. And then on the category name, you're going to look for memory. And it is right here, memory. Then the counter name is, you can do available bytes, available kilobytes, available M bytes, cache bytes. But what we're going to do is we're going to focus on the megabytes, because that is the easiest to do, and there is no instance name with that, so you don't have to worry about that. Now, for the 3 is the HD. So what you're going to want to do is, I'm going to let you figure this one out. What you're going to name it, PFC HD. Very good. Alright, so on the category name, we are going to look for the logical disk. And the logical disk is right here. Alright, the counter name, you can do different things like the disk read time, disk time, write space, free space, and we're just going to go with the free space because it's going to tell you pretty much how much free space is left to how much you have used. And so that is what we're going to do. And then on the instance name, you can either do hard disk volume 1, C, or the total. And what we're going to do is we're just going to do the total. It's going to be a little bit off because it's the total of the hard drive. It's not including the operating system or anything like that. So you're probably going to be a few gigs off. Not by much. On mine, it was saying that I had, I think, 88 gigabytes used, and then I had all the gray and everything that was pretty much free. So it's basically it's whatever you want to use on that. I mean, it's fairly easy. You can do it different ways. Now on the timer, on timer 1, what you're going to do is you are going to change the time on this to 2000. That is 2 seconds. And for people who does not really know how the intervals work on timers, timers are done by milliseconds. So it would take 1000 milliseconds to equal a second. And if you go through, so if 1000 equals 1 second, 60,000 would equal 60 seconds. For the ones that don't know that, I mean, it's fairly simple. It gets headache when you start getting into months and outs when you're building calendars and you got a couple of years you're going to plan something out. It gets very, very, very intricate, and you have to do it precisely. If not, it'll throw a bug and it'll cause the program not to work correctly. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're just going to leave this as timer 1. You can change it if you want to, but we're just only needing one timer. Alright, so now we have everything completely set up for this. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to actually get into the coding. The design part was actually the most difficult part. You've only got 6 lines of code after this. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on the timer. Alright, now, this is going to be very, very, very simple, and if my chair is squeaking, I am sorry. But what we're going to do is we're going to do PCF, or PFC, my bad. That's the performance counter, and hang on. It's going to be circular progress bar CPU, and then it's going to be dot value equals. Now we're going to get into the actual. You're going to have to cast this as an int. Pretty much the same thing like in the last video. It's going to be PFC CPU dot, and then it's going to be next value, and then we're just going to tie that off right there, and then we're going to put LBL CPU dot text equals got to put our quotation marks, CPU, and then you're going to want to do a plus. Same thing in the last video, guys. Just kind of clean it up a little bit. And then we're going to put your progress bar, which would be circular progress bar CPU, and then we're going to put dot value dot toString, and then we're going to plus that, and then plus, and then we're going to put %. Alright, now the whole CPU is completely done. Now we're going to do the RAM, and I'm going to tell you exactly what to do. You're just going to highlight, and you're going to copy this. And once it gets where it's copied, if first time copying this, we're going to say formatting selection. Takes forever. Alright, now once it's done, basically what you can do is just press Control V, Control V. Now what you want to do is change that % to gigabyte, and then you're going to change this to HD, and then you could put used, and then you're going to come back and do HD, HD, and then you're going to come over to here and you're going to put in HD. Alright, now guess what? We have the HD programmed. Alright, now this is fairly simple. We're going to put RAM. We're going to come over here. We're going to put RAM, RAM, and then here you could put free, we'll just put RAM used, and then we're going to put HD used. So that way we know kind of where we're at. So now we're back over here. We need to change this to RAM. Alright, now with the RAM, you're going to have to do a little conversion. And what you're going to do is basically divide it by 1024. And that will give you the megabytes. Alright, now that would give you 12 if you want to do 12. So, but you'll see that it doesn't happen, but you can just leave it the way it is right there. Alright, now for the hard drive, it would be the same thing. You can just leave it at 88 or it'll go in megabytes. Now, basically, since we have this done, I have not tested it, so I'm pretty sure that everything is going to work perfectly, but we're fixing to find out. And what we're going to do is we're going to start this without debugging. Alright, all hats off. We're going to see if everything goes well. And if you notice, it works. Which is on the RAM. It's not really percent. You can change percent to megabytes. So let's do that real quick. Let's exit out of that. The RAM. And we're going to change that to MB for megabytes. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to start without debugging. And there you go. Now what we're going to do is we're going to see how accurate this is. So what we're going to do is we're going to type in resource monitor. We're going to take this down. So we're going to move this over here. Alright, we're going to go to CPU. Now, you see here it's saying that one thing 100%, 0%, and it's going through about, I'd say 81%. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go to the task manager, and then once you go to task manager, just click on performance, and then you'll see here it'll go like 78, 79, 81, 80, 78, 83. I mean, it's relatively close. Now, what you can do is you can tweak with the time settings because it's pulling off the time. So what we're going to do is we're going to come back over here. We're going to go to the form, and on that timer, We got it 2000. What we're going to do is we're going to bump that down to 1 second. So every second it pulls. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to save it, and then we're going to start without debugging. We're going to minimize this, and then if you notice, it's about the same as maybe 3, 4 off, but I've noticed that if you tweak with the timer to try to get it, so if 2 is too slow, 1000, or it's lagging on both of them. So what you want to do is go on the timer, and you're going to want to change that to 500, 1500. Let's save it. Start without debugging. Alright. See, there it's about the same. It's just a couple of points. It's just like a half a millisecond off. So I would say if you want it to try to be dead on there, then you can tweak with it a little bit and try to get it to where it's almost identical. But it's within just a few points, between 1 to 3 points off. That's pretty good. Now for the memory, what we're going to do is we're going to move this up a little bit. And you see it says that I'm using 3.1 gig. Available is 8.6 gigabyte. Alright, now here on my end it's saying that I'm using 8.840. Alright, there's 6.4 gigabytes cached. 209 megabytes non-paged pool, 491 megabytes paged pool, 3.1, 13.7 gigabytes committed. So, if you was to go through, it's 3.1 and 8.6, that's like 11.7, which is, I've got 12 gig RAM, so that's about right. And then the, which is your disk, is kind of, really doesn't, it says capacity is 932, it's formatted to 931 gigabytes. So I'm going to be a couple of gigabytes off. But if we go to the actual C drive, you will see that I have 828 gigabytes free of 930. Now, if we go bring our calculator back out, we're going to put 89 plus 828 equals, that's 917. That's relatively damn close because it's not including the operating system. Alright, the operating system is roughly about, I'd say everything and all included would be about, well, let's just do it this way. 930 subtract 828 equals 102. So everything that I have that's on the disk right now is like right at 102 gigabytes used. So I mean, that's just the C drive. Now that's what I'm saying is it's very, very, very close, but it's basically, you get the concept of how to make it. And so this right here is the CPU, the RAM used, and the HD. Now with this right here, you could scoot it over. You could line everything up, bring that over to about right there. and start without debugging. You can start it with debugging, however you want to do it. And then there you go. Everything's lined up, and you have a CPU monitor, a RAM monitor, and a hard drive monitor. So this is an updated version of how to use a CPU monitor, the RAM, and the HD. Now, I've had a lot of people ask me, how do you do the CPU temperature? I have got the basic CPU temperature, and it's done the same way. You'll have to go through the thermal zone, and it gives you the Kelvin unit. And so within that, you'll have to do the math expressions to convert the Kelvin unit and everything to get it to either Fahrenheit or Celsius. But my computer runs at about 301 Kelvin, which off the top of my head I know is 28 degrees Celsius, which is about 84, 85, 86, 87 degrees Fahrenheit, I believe. If I'm wrong, leave a comment down in the comment section if you know the Kelvin unit and everything. But that is for another tutorial, because I'm going to be building onto this as we go. And I hope y'all enjoyed this video tutorial. It really shows me how everything of a computer can be put in software, and you can be able to see it. And this is what I use when I diagnose computers and find problems and things like that. If you would like to see more tutorials about this, leave a comment in the comment section below. Also, in the description, you can follow me everywhere, and we're also in the process of getting plans to build a software that will help fight pancreatic cancer. For the ones that don't know why I have not been posting any videos, if you go back and you look at the most recent video before this one, you'll notice that my mother was diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer, and in her honor, we are going to try to find a cure through neural networks, technology, and software. We also have a Fundly page. If you would like to donate money, you can go to the Fundly page, but don't worry, if you want to support the cause, you do not have to donate money. It's whether I'm going to be paying for this, whether there's $0 in the donation or $100 million in the donation. I'm not doing this for money or anything like that. It's all the proceeds to that. Half will go to the cancer research facility in Maryland, and then it's also going to be, the other half is going to go to build the software that is going to find a cure, hopefully, for pancreatic cancer. And there's going to be videos on this every step of the way. Now, if you cannot donate monetary funds, on the Fundly page, there's a support button that says if you're not ready to donate yet, you can still support me by clicking this button. If you click that button, it lets me know that you're supporting the cause, whether you give money or not. Now, if you also donate, you can donate any amount you want, but I do have preset amounts that if you donate $20, then you get some perks, like a t-shirt that's Camp Nerd Fighting Pancreatic Cancer, just a regular Camp Nerd t-shirt that's tie-dye. Everything is on there. The link is in the description, and you can support that way, or you can also support by subscribing to the channel, hitting the like button, and sharing the channel. Help us spread pancreatic awareness. And in November, we're going to be doing a live stream, because November is Pancreatic Cancer Awareness Month. And everything that we do from now, this is running all the way to the end of the year, December 31st. So we have about 200 days left of the support, the donations, whatever support we get, we thank you for it. But be sure to support us. If you can't donate, just hit the support button to let me know that you're supporting the cause. And all the people who supports me through this that does not donate monetary funds, at the end of the year, if you're still with me through these tutorial videos and through the whole process of fighting the pancreatic cancer, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send each and every one of y'all a Amazon gift certificate 2, it's not going to be that much. It's going to be maybe $20, $25 Amazon gift certificate. To the first 100 people that supports me, whether they buy or donate or whatever it is. You can donate any money, but if you'd like to buy my merchandise, you can also do it through the Fundly page as well, which is the t-shirts, the Pella case, the mug. I mean, there's a few things on there. I think there's a tote purse, same thing. You can support me, and that's exactly what we're going to do. And I hope y'all have enjoyed this video. If you've got any questions about this application, be sure to leave a comment in the comment section below. Be sure to read the description, and everything is going to be in the description about this video and the fighting pancreatic cancer. Everything is going to be in the description. I will see y'all guys in the next tutorial video, and we'll be building on to more to this. If you have any suggestions for tutorial videos, leave them in the comment section below. And remember, if you'd like to have your name shouted out on the next tutorial video, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, or you can email me. And thank you for watching this video, and as always, I'll see you in the next video, and be sure to keep it nerdy in the camp.